How's it going, everybody? I'm the big guy. Welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. I am the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. There have been none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jacoby. And welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got a Backlash-packed episode for you this week. We got the news of the week, followed by your SmackDown review. Then we go into a Backlash review, as Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash was this Sunday. Always forget to call it that. Then we have your Monday Night Raw review, and then we will go into our first Hell in a Cell review for the month to build up to Hell in a Cell in June. And then finally, we got your WWE Drink of the Week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules. And then, of course, we have your Battle Droid of the Week. But let's stop wasting time and get right into the news. WWE is very impressed with a former superstar that they had released. Who could this be? Why, none other than Colin Cassidy, a.k.a. Big Cass. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Big Cass made his AEW debut this week over on was it Rampage? No, it was Dynamite. He made his return. He made his AEW debut on Dynamite. I'm sorry, just a little off right now, trying to remember this all. And apparently, with his match with Wardlow, they were very impressed with WWE. They were so impressed, and they were so fucking happy to see this guy basically come back from the dead. Shout out to William Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass, Colin Cassidy, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I'm just so happy that this guy was able to beat back his demons of alcoholism and come back to where he should be as a huge superstar in the wrestling business. I can't be happier. The only thing that would make me happier is if Enzo was with him. But Enzo had the best tweet of when he went to Impact, and I'm sure it's the same thing. They asked, why aren't you with him? And he said, Superman doesn't need Robin. So, it makes me sad that they're not going to return to TV together. But at the same time, I'm looking at Big Cass and going, hey, welcome back, brother. This is so awesome to see. For him to come back to wrestling like this and wrestle for a major promotion. It just makes me smile inside. But unfortunately, let's go with some sad news. As Sunny has been arrested again, facing manslaughter charges. That's right. She was released after posting a $300,000 bail, which for those of you who don't know, she only has to pay 10% of that, so $30,000. She was facing the charges she will be facing after basically killing someone, a 75-year-old person. I'm not going to give the name or anything in the ongoing investigation. One, it's an ongoing investigation. Two, I feel they deserve some privacy. The charges she will be facing are DUI manslaughter, the DUI causing the death of a person, driving with a suspended license, 7 counts of DUI damage to a person or property. So she could face up to 30 years in jail with a minimum of 4 years. This completely sucks for Sunny, and I hope for everybody involved, to the people who lost a family member. My heart goes out to you. You hear my prayers. And to Sunny, maybe this is the wake-up call for you, because you've been going through a lot of shit. And again, I just talked about Colin Cassidy coming back from his alcoholism. People like Jake the Snake, Scott Hall, may he rest in peace, a big man. Ric Flair, coming back from shit like this. It's what wrestlers do, because you need to be as tough as you can be to be in that ring. And I think, Albert, you try to be as tough as you can out of the ring. So, I hope Sunny can get the help she needs and come back and be better than ever after this. And finally, is WWE lifting the word, basically I'm trying to think of the right word here. I'll say the rules on announcers mentioning formally released superstars, because they mentioned The Fiend during WWE Backlash this Sunday. For those of you who didn't watch, there was a kid in the front row, had very good dreadlocks. I don't know if it was a wig or not. If it wasn't a wig, shout out to the kid for getting it just perfect. But had basically the same Bray Wyatt dreadlocks and a Bray Wyatt face mask on, and he looked just like The Fiend. And Pat McAfee actually said, "Is that The Fiend in the front row?" Which actually, I've been hearing some rumors going around in the internet wrestling community. I've been hearing fans, I've been hearing reporters saying Bray Wyatt might be coming back to WWE. Don't know if it's true. If it is, awesome. I would love to see him back in a WWE ring. If not, hey brother, I get it. But I just thought that was fucking funny as hell. So shout out to Pat McAfee for that one. Alright, let's stop wasting time, ladies and gentlemen. That's your news this week. Let's get into your SmackDown review. SmackDown kicked off with Charlotte Flair claiming she's going to make Ronda Rousey say, "I quit." It won't be surprised if Ronda quits WWE again for real. Charlotte then called out Aaliyah for a rematch, basically, for her Beat the Clock challenge. And then when Aaliyah's back was turned, she hit her with a cheap shot. And basically, match never happened. Ronda comes out and got into a brawl with Flair before referees and officials were separating them. It didn't. The officials and referees weren't able to separate. They kept brawling. It was like the brawl from before WrestleMania 35, except no cop cars and no Biggie Lynch. After Shayna Baszler had a match with SmackDown with Tag Team Women's Champion Sasha Banks, she was actually able to beat Sasha Banks, which was shocking. I've heard that WWE was trying to book Sasha very strong in her run as Women's Tag Team Champions because they believe her to be a future Women's Champion. But apparently they are going to try and book Shayna as strong as they can for right now, which makes me happy. I think Shayna's an amazing talent and she deserves a very nice little push. In my opinion, I could see her as a main event star. So, after this, it was announced that they will have a women's tag team match next Friday. And Natalya tried to come out and attack, but were fought off with Naomi coming out for the save. We then got Madcap Moss basically mocking Baron Corbin. Had a great line. He said he used to be the lone wolf, but now he's going to be the bald wolf after he beats him because he has no more friends, which actually made me laugh. I thought that was a very good one. We then got Gunther versus Drew Gulak. I guess we're just continuing that Drew Gulak is just going to get the shit kicked out of him every second of every match. Because Gunther just squashed him. There was no question. After this, we got the tables match between Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and the New Day. Sheamus and Ridge Holland were able to pick up the win with a returning Butch. Butch was able to come in and help them put the New Day through a table. Game over. Match over. I guess Fight Night is back at full strength. I don't know. I still don't know what the fucking point this is. And then your next segment, we got Lacey Evans finishing her story and returning to the crowd. I thought it would have been cooler if maybe she returned like at Backlash and came out to face the winner of the I Quit match. But I guess not. I guess that Lacey Evans is back. So bravo Lacey Evans for coming back, but it didn't feel right at the point. It didn't feel right for me. Yeah. So, on to your next match with Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Sami Zayn was telling the Bloodline and Paul Heyman, hey, I'll take care of Sami Zayn as long as it helps me stay on the good side of Roman Reigns for a Universal Championship match maybe sometime or something like that. I don't know why he's buddying up to the Bloodline. Maybe he just sees it as a way to get his Intercontinental Championship back. I do not know. But he was able to defeat Shinsuke via countout in a badly worked match for the two. It was fun, but at the same time, it could have been better. And then finally, in your main event of SmackDown, we're already in the main event of SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. The Bloodline brawl with Drew McIntyre and RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle took out the Usos with basically twin RKOs. Drew then hit Roman with a Claymore kick to send the crowd home happy, and go to Black very happy, send the crowd home happy and ready for Backlash. This show, it was good, and it built up the matches they have on Backlash. But at the same time, it could have done more for Backlash. Like, I don't know. Because it was only a 6-match show, so there's nothing I could say, but it was fun, but at the same time, it just left you kind of wanting more, but I guess that's the point for Backlash. I don't know. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move to WrestleMania Backlash. Coming from, I believe it is Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. The Dunkin' Donuts Arena. That was the name I'll never forget till the day I die. The Dunkin' Donuts Arena. I don't know. That just made me laugh. It kicked off the night with Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, which could have been match of the night, in my opinion. This was a very good show. I am not going to be around the bush with this. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins tear the house down. Seth Rollins finally hitting that pedigree on Cody Rhodes. You have this whole brawl. Everything going right for Cody Rhodes. Everything going right for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins missing a moonsault. Cody Rhodes missing a moonsault. Seth Rollins going for the stomp. Hitting the pedigree. I know I jumped out of my chair. I yelled. I remember everybody just saying, "Why are you yelling?" And I yelled through the house, "Pedigree!" I lost my shit when he hit the pedigree. I thought that was awesome. And that's how this feud should end. It should end inside Hell in a Cell with Cody Rhodes hitting the pedigree and picking up the win. That would be awesome. Shout out to the boys in Cleveland. You guys bet he'd hit the pedigree at WrestleMania. I bet he hits the pedigree at Hell in a Cell. And if he doesn't, and I see you guys in LA, first round's on me. We then got Omos versus Bobby Lashley. This was an okay match, you know. Omos actually showed that he could go in the ring. I was very happy to see this. Omos performing very well. Bobby Lashley getting everything he can out of him and then some. This was a good match. Made me smile. Omos finally able to pick up the win after MVP got involved. And a very good match. I really enjoyed this match. It was fun to watch. Omos again showing he could go. He could actually move. That shocked me. Very good job by Omos and Bobby Lashley. Omos picks up the win after MVP interferes. Omos wins this match. You then got Edge versus AJ Styles. Judgment Day versus the Club. Edge is fighting off AJ Styles. AJ Styles fighting off everything Edge can do. He's going to go for the Phenomenal Forearm, but as he turns, he sees Damian Priest standing not at ringside, but on the walkway, which is what Corey Graves pointed out. He's not at ringside. Yeah, but he's still kind of cheating there. And Finn Balor came out to make the save. He fights Damian Priest. They're brawling on the outside. But AJ Styles decided, wait, I'll go for a great move. I'll go for the biggest move of the night. I guess he was going for a Phenomenal Forearm off the top rope. I don't know. But as he's going for the move, a new member of Judgment Day comes out and pulls Styles' leg down. He falls down. Edge locks in his submission move, which I love what Corey Graves said. Styles just went to the gallows, and I think that's what that submission should be called, the gallows. I like that. I think that'd be an awesome name for Edge's submission now, the gallows. After AJ Styles passes out, the new member of Judgment Day is revealed. It is Rhea Ripley. I told you guys Rhea Ripley was going to join Judgment. There was no question in my mind she was joining Judgment Day. There was no question in my mind. So we now have the new members of Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Edge, and Rhea Ripley, which was awesome. After this, we got a very good I Quit match. It was Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. I thought they would do some screwy booking here, have Charlotte Flair have Charlotte Flair win the match somehow by maybe pulling some Bob Backlund or Mick Foley and The Rock, and have Mick Foley and The Rock of Rocks. Mick Foley, you Rock wants to know what you have to say. He puts the mic to it and it plays a tape thing of him saying, I quit, I quit. But I thought that's what they would do, like have Ronda like a play tape or something and then they could continue this feud. But no, Ronda pulls off the win. Ronda actually was able to pull off the win, new SmackDown Women's Champion. And they then say Charlotte Flair had a kayfabe injury. Apparently she's taking time off. I don't know why she needs time off. Maybe she's finally getting married to Andrade. I don't know. But, hey, take the time off. You've earned it. You've been a full-time performer for a while. Take the time. Then we got Madcap Moss versus Happy Corbin. And again, a fun match here. It was probably the low point of the night, but still a good match. Madcap Moss picks up the win over Happy Corbin. And again, I really enjoyed it. And finally, in your main event, we had a great six-man tag. And you guys know how I feel about six-man tags. Very good six-man tag. Everyone got their shots in. We got RKOs out of nowhere. We got claymores. We got spears. We got the guillotine. We got everything. It was fun. Finally, after everyone gets hit, everyone's out of the ring, Roman Reigns hits Riddle with a spear. Spear out of nowhere. Riddle's out. 1, 2, 3. Bloodline pick up the win. Amazing show. Great way to come off of WrestleMania. This show lived up to way more than its hype. I was expecting an okay, middle-of-the-road show, but every match was good. If I had to give, the worst match of the night was probably the Madcap Moss or the Almost match. But even those were C+, low B grades. I thought those were all very fun. It was a good show. So, shout out to WrestleMania Backlash. Pulling off the win here. Yeah, I was shocked by this. But now as we go from Backlash, we go to the blow-off from Backlash in Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw opened with the Raw Tag Team Champions saying they want to unify the tag team titles, so they're going to go to SmackDown this Friday and sign a contract to unify the titles. But as they were about to hold their titles up, here come the Street Profits saying, hey, you guys can't look past this. We got a match for Tag Team Championships tonight, and we're going to unify the titles. You have Montez Ford making a Bible reference. I believe it was Leviticus, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember what it was. Maybe Corinthians. I'm not sure. But after he makes his Bible reference, you have the word of the night. This was the line of the year so far, and it goes to Riddle. He goes, oh yeah, you got your Bible reference. Well, RK Bro 420 says, we just smoked your ass. And if you go on YouTube and watch Randy Orton's reaction, he is running around like they just won the rap battle in 8 Mile. Oh! You have like the Kevin Hart kid running around in the background. He said she ain't got no nipples! That's what Randy Orton was like here. It was fucking awesome. Randy, I hold to it, whether you love this face run or not. He is living his best life. He is enjoying this. This is awesome to see Randy like this. We then got the match. RK Bro was able to pick up the win. Riddle hits the RKO on the Street Profits. And you got to see Riddle. He pinned the Street Profits. He looked angry. Looked different. I truly think it's going to be Riddle who turns heel. I don't know why, but I feel like Riddle will turn heel in this one. After this, we got a statement from Judgment Day on why Rhea Ripley is now a member of Judgment Day. She said she was tired of working with people like Liv Morgan and seeing fans in the airport who ran up to her and saying, "Hey, you're my role model. I want to be just like you when I grow up." And she would sign something and see it on eBay the next day. She really hates that. So apparently that's why she joined Judgment Day. And by the way, also, Edge apparently cut off his hair. He now has a new look. We get to see a new Edge with that. I hate that haircut. I really do. It's like the Bryce Harper haircut. If you guys don't know who Bryce Harper is, look him up on his time with the Nationals. He had basically kind of a mohawk, but would go into the back, come into a point. That's what it kind of looks like. I don't know. It just didn't look good to me. We then got Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan in basically a squash match. She made Liv tap out and wouldn't release the hold as Edge comes in, hitting the ring saying, "Tap out again, keep tapping out." I thought that was very cool. It sucks to see Liv in a squash match because she has so much potential, but at the same time, it was cool to see Rhea Ripley just be a monster heel, where she, in my opinion, is meant to be. I think she's a great heel. And then Finn Balor had a match versus Damian Priest, came out to basically ruin Judgment Day's good time. He has a match with Damian Priest. They're having a good match. But as he's about to beat Damian Priest, probably about to go for the 1816, I believe it's 1916, I apologize, 1916. He's about to go for it. Edge comes in, hits him with a spear. So he doesn't get to hit that. And as he's fighting, AJ Styles comes in to even up the odds, and he's punching everyone in the ring. Then he sees Rhea Ripley, he's about to punch her. He's like, I can't, you're a woman, I can't do it. And she basically used that against him. Edge throws him into the turnbuckle and hits him with a spear. Judgment Day stands tall. I guess they need a woman now in the club to balance out the odds. That would be very cool to see for me. We then get one of my favorite segments, the MVP Lounge, of almost an MVP talking about their win over Bobby Lashley. And as they're talking, Cedric Alexander's music hits. I'm like, what's he doing out here? But once again, he is trying to align himself with MVP and Almas. He tried to join in, but Bobby Lashley came out, and he tried to attack Bobby Lashley. And he took out Cedric Alexander. Lashley and Almas then get into a brawl, but are broken up. And it's announced that next week it will be a steel cage match. MVP will not have any involvement between Almas and Lashley. So that's a cool match to see. I'm excited for it. This will really test Almas' ability. And we'll get the final answer of if this guy is a great Khali or if he's a Big Show and he can actually go. We then got a surprise return for the evening of Adam Pearce trying to tell Sonya Deville something, but she wouldn't let him talk. She just kept asking who her opponent was, and then finally she said, "Doesn't matter, I'm going out to the ring." Adam Pearce then came out and said her official contract has been terminated. She is no longer a WWE official. She is just an in-ring competitor, and her opponent is Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss may return with her old music, the Goddess music. And she was carrying Lily.
I don't know that
one. I knew that was going to get involved. Lil Miss Bliss was carrying Lily to the ring in new ring gear that kind of resembled her old ring gear, but also had a little bit of a dress around it. So I don't know if she's supernatural anymore. I don't know what it is, but I'm kind of liking this. That she's not the goddess, and she's not the possessed girl that we saw. She's a little bit of both. And I think that will hopefully please everybody. This match is going to get a lot of backlash because it was just two moves of Alexa Bliss basically hitting a DDT and then hitting Twisted Bliss off the top. And she picks up the win. Lil Miss Bliss picks up the win over former WWE official Sonya Deville. So maybe Little Miss Bliss is back, but at the same time, who knows with WWE? It's a very who knows. After his Kevin Owens' older brother, Ken Owens, tried to confront Ezekiel, Ken then took off his wig to reveal, haha, it's actually Kevin Owens, and he hates liars still. And next week he will find out who is Ezekiel and if he actually is Elias's younger brother. I don't know. I really don't care. This storyline's gone too long for me. Owens and the Alpha Academy then beat down Ezekiel, and Owens stood tall to go commercial. I really don't know how I feel about this storyline. We then got another Veer, basically, squash match. Veer Mahaan was able to defeat Frank Loman, who was billed as, hey, I got a wife and 3 kids at home, so he's doing it for his kids, because he's got kids. I guess they're making a Heath Slater joke, I don't know. So, Veer Mahaan just squashes him. Nothing really to talk about in this match. Thank God they didn't have, it was just a quick, hey, tap out, okay, go to the back. He was able to get a few moves in on Veer, though. He was able to get a nice hit and a big boot in, so that was a cool little thing to see this guy. Okay, maybe they're actually really trying this guy out for NXT. I don't know, but very nice. They actually got some shots in, and he didn't have to leave in an ambulance. We then got Cody Rhodes versus Theory in a United States Championship match. Very good match for Theory and Rhodes here. They were able to pull out all the stops and hit every move they could before the inevitable ending of Seth Rollins getting involved. Seth Rollins beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes, causing the DQ. Brings Cody over to the table and hits the stomp on him on a table, saying it's not over yet. It isn't over till he says it is. This is going to Hell in a Cell. There's no question in my mind. They will have a match inside the cell. You then got a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Contenders match, I guess is what it's called, because it's not called a non-championship match anymore. It's called a Contenders match. I don't know. Sasha Banks and Naomi were able to defeat the new team of Nikki Ash and Doudrop because Nikki Ash stopped the pose in the middle of the ring. Doudrop then basically called her out. This was actually pretty cool to see because Nikki Ash and Doudrop were actually a tag team on the independent scene before coming to WWE. They basically came up together training under Killian Dane. So for those of you who don't know, they were always friends. So cool little thing to see. And as they're going up the ramp, who comes out but The Miz? Because he's awesome. And it's the world's most awesome referee because he is the special guest referee for the next match between Mustafa Ali and Ciampa. The Miz did everything he could to cost Ali his match. Slow count, not counting the 5 in the middle of in between the ropes, not doing any of that, not disqualifying Ciampa. And when Ciampa finally rolled up Ali, 1, 2, 3, match over. They even talked about him as basically, hey, that was some cheap shit. Even Corey Graves was like, yeah, I can't even hide that one. That was pretty cheap. Raw was moving kind of fast this week, and I really did feel that. Raw was moving fast. Lacey Evans then was showed telling her whole story in a bunch of pre-taped promos. I don't know I guess they're trying to decide which show Lacey Evans should be on. I don't know which. I think she should stay on SmackDown. Raw Women's Division is hot right now. They got everything going for them. So keep her on SmackDown and maybe introduce Bayley into SmackDown as well. They don't need her on Raw right now. It was then the steel cage was announced. Bobby Lashley announced it will be inside of a steel cage next week to keep MVP out. And following your main event, we had Bianca Belair versus Asuka with Becky Lynch at ringside doing commentary. She just kept saying, I don't know why she's getting a contenders match. I haven't gotten my rematch from WrestleMania. I deserve my rematch, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fuck this. She jumps in the ring, attacks Asuka and Bianca Belair, calls in a DQ for Belair. Belair gets thrown into the stairs, and Becky Lynch stands tall to end the show. I don't know where this is going. Maybe a women's Hell in a Cell match between Belair and Lynch. I don't know. I hope it doesn't, because I feel like if Lynch loses this match, it could really diminish the heat Becky Lynch has as big time Bex. I think she's a great heel. I love her more as a heel than a face there. I said that's my hot take of the year. Becky Lynch is a better heel than a face. People are going to hate me for that one. But I really hope they just let her stay heel. As long as I feel like her and Seth as heels together could be something great in a feud with Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes, which I think would be awesome. But I know they probably don't want to do that after the Extreme Rules shit and all the shit that went down between them, Baron Corbin, Lacey Evans. They probably want to keep them apart, but I feel it would be pretty cool. So I feel as long as Becky is a heel, Seth should be a heel. But that's just me. And that was Raw this week. It was a fast-moving Raw. Like, I looked at my clock as it was coming down because I knew what the main event was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Becky Lynch. And it was supposed to be the Bianca Belair and Asuka. So I knew it was supposed to be that. I was like, wow, this is going quick. This is almost over. It's almost 11. It didn't feel like a 3-hour show for a first time in a long time. I enjoyed the show, but it did feel like 3 hours. That was shocking to me. Very good Raw, but at the same time, there's still things that lacked, in my opinion. Like, why do you need... Have Doudrop and Nikki Ash win a match against someone who isn't a formed tag team. Maybe Carmella and Zelina Vega. Have them win a match against someone else. Not just lose a match because it really doesn't build them up anyway. I don't know. Let's move on to Hell in a Cell, ladies and gentlemen. It's Hell in a Cell season. And let's begin with one of the worst Hell in a Cell pay-per-views that there ever has been, apparently, according to people. While people will say 2019, I'll do that next week, because I feel 2019 is just misunderstood. While this one, it completely holds a terrible ending, and it left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. But is it as bad as you remember? Let's see. With the New Day kicking it off on the kickoff show versus the Rusev Day of Aiden English and Rusev, accompanied by Lana, they would feel this would be starting the downfall of Rusev Day, losing to the New Day on this match, and basically leading to the breakup and what happened in Milwaukee segments. It's weird to look at this and say, okay, 3 of these guys are no longer... Half of this match is no longer with the company. It's weird looking at this card because this was only 4 years ago. But very good little kickoff match between New Day and Rusev Day. New Day would pick up the win. We then get a destructive Hell in a Cell match. Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy to kick off the show. Jeff Hardy would come back to WWE. And he said one of the main reasons he came back to WWE was because he wanted this match inside Hell in a Cell. Who else to have it against but the Legend Killer? They are locked in a blood feud right now of... After Jeff Hardy came back to SmackDown and lost the United States Championship, Randy Orton would go on a blood path for Jeff Hardy. He would completely try to destroy him, and he would inside Hell in a Cell. These two would have a great match. Ladders, tables, chairs, everything you come to expect. Randy Orton digging a screwdriver into the ear of Jeff Hardy, into his gauge, trying to pull it out. The only thing that I can critique of this match is when Jeff Hardy was climbing the top of the cell to slam into Randy Orton on a table, and Randy Orton moved. How cool would it have been, instead of moving, he just hits the RKO out of nowhere. Hits the RKO on Jeff, and Jeff to put him through a table and pick up the win. How cool would that have been? Instead of just, hey, that's how it ends. By the way, this would also mark the debut of the Red Cell, which a lot of people really do hate. I can't blame them. This cell sucks. Go back to the original cell. We then get the beginning of the man. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, which started at SummerSlam. This was Becky Lynch's really first heel run in the company. She would have a okay heel run. She would win the SmackDown Women's title. But they would really hate her heel run. The fans got so behind Becky Lynch because it was just not the right time for her to turn heel. They planned this at the worst time. She was the hottest act in the women's division. There was so many "we want Becky" chants. We want Becky to win. Though it would lead to something of her saying, to beat the man, you gotta beat the man, and I beat the man starter, so I'm a man. So this would lead to the WrestleMania 35. This would be the catalyst of her beating Charlotte Flair here. Led to WrestleMania 35. Led to the first women's main eventing of WrestleMania. So without this pay-per-view, you don't get big-time Becky Lynch. You don't get the man Becky Lynch. You don't get any of that. Just a little thing to look back on. After this, we got Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defending their titles against Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, The Shield, versus Braun Strowman's dog pack, a wolf pack, whatever you want to call it. Braun Strowman had just turned heel again. He aligned himself with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. He was going for the Universal Championship. He has Money in the Bank, and he turns heel against Roman Reigns in a tag team match because the Shield cost him his cash-in. So, he didn't cost him his cash-in that night, but they cost him an opportunity to cash in. So he turns heel, kind of cementing, okay, he's just in our big show of turning heel, turning face, turning heel, turning face, turning heel, turning face. And here we go again. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, great match versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Amazing feud. They really fought, and this would also be the last time, this night would be the last time Roman Reigns would defend the Universal Championship before relinquishing it to go fight leukemia. Still one of the saddest moments in WWE history, in my opinion. One of. I'll never forget that. Never. Very good match here. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre really brought the house down. Dolph and Seth have an amazing chemistry. Going back to when they first feuded as part of the Authority versus John Cena storyline, Dolph Ziggler being the sole survivor, Seth Rollins losing as the last member of his team. They brought the house down. Drew McIntyre and Dean Ambrose having some undiscovered chemistry, which was unbelievable. And these guys just working so well together against each other. Great match, great tag team match. Shield and the Dogs tear the house down for a 24-minute tag team match. After this, we got AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in a WWE Championship match. Yeah, you guys kind of forgot Joe was in the main event picture for a long time, didn't you? AJ Styles was able to win the match after Joe tried to lock in the Coquilla clutch. He rolls him up and keeps him down with his shoulders pinned. Ref doesn't see AJ tap out. Joe gets pissed, but AJ Styles retains his title in a great 19-minute match. And then you kind of got your piss match here of The Miz and Maurice versus Daniel Bryan, and I should take that back. You got The Miz and Maurice versus Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella in a mixed tag team match. Brie Bella using her hidden brass knucks for the win. She knocks out Brie Bella, picks up the win, 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of this feud, by the way. It was never given a third one. I don't know why. I don't know why this was never given a third match. It could have been good, but it wasn't. Now we move on to your piss match, ladies and gentlemen. Ronda Rousey with Natalya versus Alexa Bliss with Alicia Fox and Mickie James. Yeah, that was a shocker. I forgot that was a tandem for a while. There was no question Ronda Rousey was walking out champion. She destroyed Alexa at SummerSlam. She was going to destroy her here. She gave Alexa time in this match, and they actually had an okay match, but not great. Ronda Rousey picks up the win and retains her Raw Women's Championship. She would retain it until WrestleMania. And finally, your main event. Hell in a Cell WWE Universal Championship match with special guest referee Mick Foley. Roman Reigns, your Universal Champion, versus Braun Strowman, cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. Good fight. Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler go off the side of the cell, each going into an announcer's table, destroying each other. Bang! They hit the table. It was amazing. Until the end. Dun, dun, dun. Here comes the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. We haven't seen him since SummerSlam, since Roman Reigns beat him for his title. Breaks down the door to Hell in a Cell. Paul Heyman sprays Mick Foley in the eyes with pepper spray. And then Brock Lesnar proceeds to beat the shit out of Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Match goes off. No contest. First ever time a Hell in a Cell ends in a no contest. It left a bitter taste in everybody's mouth. That ending destroyed a great show. It was fun. It was enjoyable. But there was just so much left to be desired because of the ending. It would lead to what was supposed to be a triple threat at Crown Jewel. Unfortunately, we would never get that triple threat. Roman Reigns will announce he has leukemia and would relinquish the WWE Universal Championship. Be a match between Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. That's left for a different day, though. This Hell in a Cell is one of the worst endings ever. But it's still a great match. Still a great show. Do not let it be entertained by the ending. Watch the rest of the show. Go into it with an open mind, forgetting the ending. And you will see a show that truly should be up there. But because of the ending, it's brought back down. Watch this show. Seriously. Watch it. And that's my Hell in a Cell review from 2018, ladies and gentlemen. Since we're in Hell in a Cell season, I figured let's stick with the fires of hell and go with the fireball drink. The simple cinnamon roll. This is a very easy drink to make, ladies and gentlemen. Just need a shot of cinnamon whiskey, aka Fireball, 2 ounces of Dr. Pepper, and 2 ounces of cream soda. You pour that into a glass. Drop your shot glass into the pint glass. Chug. It's a nice bomb, and it's a great fireball drink. Fun to have. Fun for parties. Make sure to drink responsibly. Do not drink if you are underage, under the age of 21. And do not, under any circumstances, drink and drive. And that is your WWE Drink of the Week. And now a reading from the Book of Rules. More cell equals more hell. A reading from the Book of Rules. And with the final segment, everybody, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. Now, this week, I'm not giving it to him because it's a terrible award, or they're doing their job terribly. I'm giving it to him because this is more of a comedy week for this one, ladies and gentlemen. The Battle Droid of the Week this week is Fightful News on Twitter. Apparently, their Twitter was either hacked or sent a private message that was meant for someone who basically someone who controls their Twitter just meant to send it as like, "Hey, baby, how's it going? Yeah, let's have some online fun, you know." Hey, I'm not gonna get mad at that. I think we've all done it before. Everybody's had a little online fun, but we never announced it to, again, Fightful's over 100,000 Twitter followers, which I'm not going to repeat what they said. If you want, you can go find it on Twitter. It's very easy to find. Everybody's still talking about it. It was a big fuck up, and for that fuck up, you are the Battle Droid of the Week, Fightful. It's still funny to me. It makes me laugh. But at the same time, you know, it's just, hey, it was an accident. Accidents happen. No reason to hold this against Fightful. Shit happens. So after this, we'll move on. But Fightful, you are the Battle Droid of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I've been the big guy, and I'm excited. Hell in the Cell is one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. I love the stipulation. Great time. I love the matches it produces, because you know it's going to be a banger. When someone steps inside Hell in the Cell, they are going in there for a fight. So, it's going to be a fun month. Let's get ready for it, ladies and gentlemen.